Hi, it's Cass, and welcome to 2018. Still can't believe it, kind of. Last year was a lot. The year before that was a lot, but I'm hoping this year proves to be. I don't know, I hate when people say, I hope this will be a better year, because I feel like, there are good things and bad things about every year. Last year was especially bad for a lot of us, but, you know, try to be optimistic. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm Cass, and I'm here to talk about, did I say that? I don't know. I'm here to talk about the games I played in 2017. This isn't going to be particularly well thought out. It's just kind of me talking about them briefly or just mentioning them. I probably missed some. I did play some things that maybe I forgot, some smaller things. A lot are ones that I played on the channel. I might have goofed on the date of when I actually did them. Like, some I started, maybe in 2016 and finished the whole trilogy, like Mass Effect, which we just start off there. So, in anticipation of Mass Effect Andromeda, I replayed the Mass Effect trilogy, which was a lot of fun. And that's on my channel, and it's really long and probably ridiculous. And I found out a lot of things about myself that I didn't know about weapon upgrades in ME3. So a lot of interesting things. It was a lot of fun. I did a Renegade. As per usual, I couldn't follow through on all those things that renegades do, like hating aliens necessarily. But it's always fun to replay the trilogy. And then, of course, we had Mass Effect Andromeda, which was a very interesting time for a lot of us BioWare fans. This year has been kind of therapeutic for me in a lot of ways. And one of them is just like accepting that things aren't always perfect. And as many letdowns as I had with that game, and the fact that there's not going to be any more single player content and that we don't know what's going on, that's maybe the biggest one. The game in itself, while it wasn't what I necessarily wanted, I've definitely, through playing on this channel, and I'm almost done, I swear, and I'm going to post more soon, so that will be finished. I tend to go on like spurts with that game. It's not finished as of now, the Andromeda run, but it will be. I've just learned to appreciate things about it, and I've tried to be positive versus my usual first, response of like, oh my god, why? This is disappointing me. I think that more came from the stuff around the game versus the game itself, so I don't blame that. And then I guess something that I've kind of talked about, but I wasn't able to play with you guys, is the, I almost said Life is Strange. I'm like, what are you talking about? What was I saying? Oh, Nathan Drake. So I played the Uncharted series. I played the first three, and then I played the Lost Legacy, which is with two side characters who are amazing. And that was honestly my favorite thing. There's a point where you ride an elephant with the two characters, and I love Nadine and Chloe, and, or did I say Chloe? Yeah, that's her name, right? Oh god. It was just so good. I really recommend that series. For anyone who hasn't played it, I was very much like, I don't know, I just wanted to, because a lot of people that I have things in common with enjoy that series. For anyone who hasn't played it, it's like Tomb Raider, but on a different level. I think Tomb Raider has more going for it, maybe because it's PC-centric as well, at least I feel. But I think it does something, even though I don't like Nathan Drake as a character, through any of them, really. I just don't like him, and I feel bad about it. But I will say that I think, maybe because I didn't play the Tomb Raider games prior to, I guess, the rebooted franchise. I don't really know the proper terminology for that, but I still haven't even actually finished the newest Tomb Raider game, because I got in a place, it was a weird time in my life. That's something I want to do this year. I might start over and play it on the channel. I'm not really sure who wants to see that, because it's an older game now, but not really. But I definitely want to finish it. Back to Nathan Drake. So I don't not like Nathan Drake for a variety of reasons. I won't focus on that. I kind of wish that Tomb Raider had more of that, because in the first Tomb Raider-ish, does that one have a name? Oh god. Game. There is her friend. Oh fuck, what's her friend's name? And there's that, and there's just not enough personal relationships, I felt. Whereas Nathan Drake, you kind of develop that over the series. Like, he has somebody like a father figure. And then later he has a brother, and he just has these relationships that I feel like flesh it out more, and I felt that Tomb Raider didn't do that, so that's what it does right. Nathan Drake's collectible stuff and that kind of stuff is enjoyable, but I liked it. I mean, combat-wise, not great. The first two, if you want to look into it, I would suggest just playing the third one first, honestly, because I think it was one or two that I was just like, I think it was one's combat, but I liked them a lot, and I really loved the Uncharted Lost Legacy. I highly recommend that, even as a standalone. It's not terribly long, and it's really good, and they're beautiful. They're beautiful games, and I don't regret playing them. They're definitely some of my favorite game I discovered this year, even though they've been out for a while now, other than fuck the last one, which I honestly don't remember the name of. Okay, enough about Nathan Drake. So I'll just point out I did play Before the Storm, Life is Strange Before the Storm. The first, or I guess all of the Rachel Amber episodes have come out at this point. I played them. We're awaiting the one, I think it's called Goodbye or something. There's with Chloe and Max. But technically the trilogy of Rachel is done. So I really liked those. I mean, I highly recommend playing them yourself or watching someone else play them. Me, anybody, frankly, because they're good. There's some things that made me exceptionally sad and that are still unexplained. But that's, I guess, part of it. I'm even doing like a different choice playthrough at some point that I'll finish. I just love that game. It still made me cry. It still left me with questions. And Life is Strange, I hope, continues to deliver on these very touching and reflect on LGBT people's lives, and that's important to me. So that was something big that happened this year for me in games, and I really loved it. Another one is What Remains of Edith Finch. I think that is probably my favorite game of 2017, which I hesitate to say because there's so many good ones, frankly. I didn't think there were that many good ones, but there were. It's a story about a girl returning to like her abandoned childhood home that she hadn't been to in a while and discovering things about her quote-unquote cursed family, about their heritage. I think they're from I don't know where they're from, Holland, something like that. And like the house came over, supposedly they brought this house over from the old country, like on a ship. I think that's an actual thing that they say happened, which I don't honestly know, but you just go through the people in the family and it's just so unique and beautiful, and they tell these really heart-wrenching stories of just like everything generations go through and the way that affects them and other people. And then you're traveling along with this girl who is the last remaining Finch. Just all the tragedy. It makes you cry and it definitely makes you laugh, but it makes you think a lot, and I just really enjoy that game. I honestly want to replay it just for myself, but that's on my channel too. It's an incredible game. Honestly, any game those people make, I don't know the company, I gotta look it up, but it was just an experience. Like a walkthrough. Is that what they call those kind of games? I don't know what the fuck they're called, but it's just beautiful and good and so detailed, and you feel for everybody, and there's an element of like mysticism. Maybe that's not the right word. There's definitely, it has a weird vibe, but I really love it, and it's just beautiful, and you're like out in the woods all alone and reliving these memories of the family. I forget about those elements, but it was just so good. And similarly, there's a game called Tacoma, which I played recently on the channel as well. All these, no shock. If I could record them for you guys, I tried to, unless they were on PS4. Tacoma is the story of someone investigating I think they're a transit? No, they do something like, trying to think of the proper word, the crew, what happened to this crew. And you don't know until the end what happened. But you're watching back these, like, memories, like these hologram memories of these people leading up to X thing that happened that you're investigating. And it surprised me in ways. It's by the same people who did Gone Home, and it was just a beautiful story. There's, of course, LGBT representation, which a lot of these have, which I'm so happy about. It's hard to go into it without spoiling it, but similarly, it's, you're experiencing this. There's not like battles or anything. You're just experiencing this story and looking at clues, and I actually want to replay that one as well. It's crazy it seems because I enjoyed it. It's space. It's just good. It's good times. Next, similarly, we have Butterfly Soup, which is a story-based game. You're just going through. There's no decisions or anything. You're just kind of, well, maybe there are. Actually, I don't remember. Oh god, it's just really good. It's a story about primarily two girls who, I think they were in elementary school when they first met, both kind of figuring out what the world expects of them, and then moreover who they are. It concludes with them getting together, these sweet little teens, and it kind of just puts the light on the fact that, you know, so much of LGBT representation, lesbians and gay people, is often hypersexualized. And so I feel like when things like this exist, it's like, no, I mean, little girls can grow up, you know, fall in love with their childhood best friend, little girl. They can have these little love stories, and you can have it be the sweet, pure, innocent thing. And you don't have to, like, make things unnecessarily, what's the word? I can't even think of the word, but it was just so nice and, like, resonated with me, and I think with a lot of LGBT people it would. So I highly recommend playing Butterfly Soup. It's just sweet. And also there's baseball, which I don't really like, but you don't have to like baseball to like Butterfly Soup. It's a sweet story about two girls and them falling in love and then their friends who are also figuring themselves out. So that's amazing. Next we have Dream Daddy. So I really need to talk about Dream Daddy. I like Dream Daddy a lot. I don't think I played like 2 routes. I played, I think, Joseph, who is like the villainous guy who ends up, he's villainous because, you know, he basically, anyway, I won't spoil it just in case you haven't. I'm trying to remember, did I romance Matt on my playthrough? I think I did. I think that's his name. Very enjoyable. I love that game. I just love it a lot, and I appreciated it existing. I'm waiting for Dream Mommy. Although, frankly, I hate the word mommy in that context. But very enjoyable. Then there is Senua's Sacrifice, which is sort of, I said What Remains is my favorite, but it's so hard. You know, there's so many different reasons you like different games. I feel like saying this is my favorite is ridiculous because Senua's Sacrifice is a game I looked forward to for years. Every time that I would see it at like E3 or they did developer diaries that I would pay attention to, I was just so intrigued. I believe she's a Celtic warrior, and she has, oh gosh, I don't want to say it wrong because it's been a while. Let me quickly, because I don't want to mislabel it. That's right, live Googling. So, of course, an article about what they got wrong. Psychosis, that's correct. So it talks about her experience with psychosis, this character, and how that informs like her journey. I don't think it's a spoiler to say the story is sort of about the trauma she's been through due to her mental illness and her father's abuse and losing the love of her life. At least that's how it's portrayed. And it's just, the fights are really, it's a weird format. I played it on easy, so I'm not sure if it's even possible, but I guess if you play it on a higher difficulty, even like normal, etc., there's the possibility that this like curse or this blackness of I think it spreads from your arms to the rest of your body, sort of like a burning, that it can corrupt you if you lose enough. So if you die enough, you have to start over, I think, completely. I have no idea, but that's an interesting element of it. It's a visually beautiful game. It is creepy, which it should be because you're in the mind of someone who's going through something terrible and scary. But it's also like a very uplifting story in a way that I can't describe. And I think the voice actor for this won a game award for her portrayal, her voice, and this was her first job. I think she was like a programmer to something at the studio, and yeah, she did the oh god, what do you call it? You know, she did like the movement and stuff. Oh god, I can't think of words. What's wrong with my brain? She did that capture, the word. It will come to me eventually at the worst possible time. It's just an amazing game that I highly recommend playing. I played that as well, I will say, but it's just honestly just met my expectations and more. The puzzles in that as well were like nothing I'd ever done before. Not that I don't play a lot of puzzle stuff. I try to. Sometimes I get agitated, but I think it's completely worth playing and buying yourself, honestly, or at least watching it. I just think it's amazing. And I hope they keep making great stories, because that was just amazing. Just amazing. So, I don't think I talked about Mortician's Tale. A Mortician's Tale is like a story. Fuck they call those? I'm bad with words today. This is why generally one writes down stuff. But it's like, walking through a story where you're this mortician who's recently come to this like mom and pop place. I think it's called Something and Sisters, so it's like a family run mortuary. Is that the right word? Whatever, funeral home. And you kind of just go through the day to day, not like every day, but you go through, presenting, that seems like the wrong word. Now I'm gonna lose my mind here. You go through that job, which is like how people want to be, like if they want to be embalmed or if they're going to be cremated, etc. And there's things you have to do, like you have to go through all that in like this cartoony format of like draining people's bloods, which is like really a lot. And then afterwards attending their funeral, which I think could have been done better, but I think it was, I don't know, I feel like a lot of the game is reading the emails you get from her friend and other people within this business, and the story is really, they call it death positive. It's hard to explain. This is a harder one. Or like, should I mention it? You can watch me play that too. All these, I feel like most of them you can watch me play, so I should stop saying that. You just can. They're on my channel, and my dog's barking, so that's fun for everybody. And it's beautiful. It's purple and inviting, and I think one of the creators actually, I asked for a copy of the game because I wanted to play it, and they were so kind, and I emailed them and I thanked them because there is LGBT inclusion in this game, her friend. It's just beautiful, and it's not very long, and it's great, and it's worth playing. Next, we have Night in the Woods. God, I hope you can't hear my dog, but there's nothing I can do about that. She's just barking at squirrels. Night in the Woods is similarly a story, at least I'm pretty sure the creators have confirmed. It's about this cat named May, who is returning home after deciding she has to leave college for her own reasons that you find out throughout the story. Her struggle with mental illness, her family, events of her past, sort of falling outs with friends. There's a great character named Bea, who in my playthrough I called Bea, and I stand by that, okay? Bea. Funny enough, I ended up naming my cat Bea, my kitten, sort of after Puppy Cat and Bea though, but I also like to think because I really loved Bea. She's a crocodile in the game who is May's friend, and just sort of like her being back in town and her feelings of failure and her feelings of what is it to grow up and what is friendship, what is responsibility, what is love, and her journey through that. And it's just, I keep saying about these games, but they're all really good. They're really good. I played The Wolf Among Us as well, which is not a new game, but they did announce another one coming. Oh, and it just occurred to me from Telltale as well. I definitely played The Walking Dead 3, which I wish had been more Clementine. I still love that series. So great. Everything Telltale does. I've tried some of the Batman. Those are really the only example of like, I'm not too into those, but Telltale in general is always great for me. And I definitely recommend The Wolf Among Us and obviously The Walking Dead, because I think that's so much better than the TV show. Like, the games are just so good. I love Clem, and I liked the new character they introduced. And it was great. So I guess I should end it. Well, I should mention that there's some games I've started and kind of on. I guess Prey, to have a playthrough going on. I have some episodes I haven't even released. I got really annoyed with Prey, and I think you can kind of tell it. I don't know if I released those episodes, but out loud, I'm like, I don't like this. Like, it gets to a point in those games where I was not enjoying myself. I thought it would be scary, and it is at times. But moreover, I just think like the combat system and everything is not something I wanted, and not something I enjoy. So I've kind of put that on hold. It's a cool looking game for sure, and there's definitely things in there that I can see people really loving, but it just was not everything I wanted it to be. So I might end up watching someone else play it and just call it a day with that one, which I feel bad about, but I don't think anyone should spend time doing something that doesn't make them happy if it's not, something you have to do. So someday maybe. And I think I'm playing another game on my channel that I really like, but I won't bother with that. I think actually the second one's coming out this year. You might know which one that is, but then I guess we'll conclude it with a game that really kind of brought me on the PS4 train. It's actually the whole reason I bought a PS4. Oh, I just remembered that I'm actually playing Persona 5 at the moment. It's my first Persona game. I love it. That's not the game I was talking about when I started this spiel, but I'm almost done with it, and I love it to pieces. I can't believe I've never played a Persona game. I love it so much. Persona 5, amazing. I think everybody knows about that game, so I won't travel on. But the game I'm talking about, the reason I got a PS4, is Horizon Zero Dawn. This came out just before MEA, Mass Effect Andromeda. And from the moment I saw trailers for it, years ago, I was like, this is a game for me. And I knew I had to play it. It's got the voice actor Ashley Birch, who was Chloe Price in Life is Strange, the original game. And you're like, it's like this futuristic story that is of like not Jurassic, that doesn't make any sense. There's dinosaur robots. It's just, you have an arrow. The combat is challenging. The world is beautiful. The characters are diverse and wonderful. And there's just a great game. I feel like that game, there's definitely things about that game that I understand people having issue with, and things that I have issue with when it comes to, what's the word? Oh god, I told you I'm bad with words. Taking cultural bits from things and not being respectful about them, like terminology they have, those things I take issue with. But throughout the game, for the most part, other than those things which put me off, especially, that word is not going to come to me, is it? Today is not my word day. Forgive me, guys. It's just a wonderful game, and I can't wait for more, because definitely there has to be more. I did very well, I think it won some awards. It doesn't really matter for me. That was probably my game of the year, at least in terms of like an adventure, like I guess that would be considered a open world. It's just an amazing game. It's just awesome. I enjoyed it. It made me enjoy PS4 combat, and I think it was innovative and amazing. And like the character, one of the things about that game is like the character models, you really don't see repeats, which seems, I know that's like a big budget, a lot of time, and like I understand the necessity of repeated faces, but coming from, or I guess going into Mass Effect Andromeda, because I had been like so spoiled with this game that, had different face models for like everybody, and they're all unique and different. They're not the same like white generic dude. It's like there's so many different people who look so different and great. Going into Mass Effect Andromeda, where every Asari has the same face model, that definitely made me go, holy shit, they put so much work into Horizon. Like, and that's something you notice. And it's a beautiful story, and it combines all these like different genres, at least for me. And it was surprising in a lot of ways. I'm actually going to replay it for sure, because I haven't played it since it first came out. I think I kind of rushed through that. I didn't do everything because Andromeda was coming out, so I was like, I want to finish this so I can play Andromeda. But it's just an amazing game. Everything about it is good. Aloy is the main character, and she's just hilarious, but a complete badass, and I love playing her, and oh my god, I love Aloy. I just love her so much. So I mean, it's worth me getting a PS4. I think it's worth you guys watching or playing yourself, honestly. 10 out of 10. Maybe some points for some other stuff, but honestly, I just love it so much. So those are the games that I remember playing. I was watching Justin McElroy for Polygon talk about the games he remembered playing. That was like his thing. It's like sometimes you forget, but I think that's most of them. And the ones I want to mention. And hopefully soon I'll finish Persona 5, and I'm looking forward to some games this year. Hopefully I'll be able to share with you guys. There's definitely a ton on my list that I want to do, but there were more games than I thought, and I played some older ones as well, but it was just a really enjoyable year for video games for me, and I hope it was for you guys as well. Sorry this went on long. Not necessary to listen, but if you did, I totally appreciate it. And I can't wait to do this next year and tell you about hopefully all the amazing games I play this year. So I will talk to you guys and see you and whatever in the next video. Wasn't that a great outro? It was so great. I'm so professional. Bye, guys.